Hello and welcome to the new season of Initiating Insight with Sibongile. During this season, the program will embark on a communications journey with the Department of Social Development so as to educate us on the processes and systems in as far as the services they render to millions of South Africans. We will tackle each topic in reference to the programs they run and the services they provide, as it were. Please help me welcome my guest, Mr. Frans Ramotla, who will be talking to us about social work and World Social Month, right?
Yes.
Yes. Tell us, what are your responsibilities at social development? What do you do there?
In the Gauteng Department of Social Development, I have been responsible for strategic management, research and policy coordination, population development, and currently I'm the director for stakeholder management. I've been given the responsibility for the past 2 years to chair the task team for World Social Work Day celebrations.
Mr. Ramotla or Shapaka Bodi Kerana this Mansas Hoa talk to Umamlangen Lapana Epimville. What does that mean in a layman's term?
In a layman's term, good department bebangiphe umsebenzi wokuthi ngiyeze ukuthi i-department isebenze kahle nokuthi i-department isebenze kahle fanele kuyenze umsebenzi wokuhlolisisa ukuthi iziphi izinto fanele zihambe kahle ku-department lokho bakubiza i-research. And then ngiyenze ukuthi sibheke ukuthi izinto zihambisana no research lezi bazibiza population development nazo zihamba kahle. Banginikeza nomsebenzi ukuthi inyanga nonyanga ama social worker ukuhambisana nelizwe lonke bafanele babone ukuthi umbutho wabo wama social worker uyahlolisisa ukuthi basebenza kahle nokuthi iziphi izinto zenza bangasebenzi kahle bese bayabonisana ukuthi lezi zinto lezo fanele bazilungise kanjani.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. In November 2018, the International Federation of Social Workers resolved to the World Social Work Day.
Yes.
To promoting the importance of human relationships. Yes. Can you tell us more about that?
As South African social workers, the department sponsored that event, and we held it in Pretoria, and we engaged 1,200 social workers from the department, from local government, and from different NGOs. During that event, we had our international representative, Professor Antoinette Lombard, taking us through the progress that has been made in the 3 topics that has been adopted by the International Federation of Social Workers, the International Association of Social Work Educators, and the International Council for Social Welfare. In 2018, then 3 topics had been addressed. The first one is the economic and social. The first one is economic and social equality. The second one was worth and dignity of people, and the third one was environmental and community sustainability. So she took us through the presentation. And thereafter, we had a presentation from the National Association of Social Workers, where it was indicating the contribution of social work on issues of environment. We also had a message of support from South African social workers in private practice, as well as a message of support from South African Council for Social Service Professions, as well as the Gauteng Forum for Veterans.
So in a nutshell, this World Social Work Day is to celebrate what? Social workers, or what is it for exactly?
Well,
just very briefly in a nutshell.
Yes, the World Social Work Day is to highlight the achievement of the social work achievements, and also to highlight the contribution of the profession, and also to defend social justice, to defend social change, as well as social development.
Briefly, Mr. Ramotla, can you tell us about the profession, your social work as it is? What are the challenges, for instance, and what are the achievements, as it were? Very briefly.
The International Federation of Social Workers, and then the International Association of Social Work Educators adopted a global definition for social work. And in that definition, there is an indication that social work is a practice-based profession. It also indicates that social work is an academic discipline. It also indicates that social workers is driven by the principles of social justice, principles of human rights, and principles of social change.
So it's not something to be taken for granted at all?
Yes, and also it indicates that it is driven by the social work research, social services research, as well as research for social services.
So what are the challenges, very briefly?
Well, as I've indicated, overall, yeah. But then we need to zoom the challenges within the global agenda themes that were adopted within the profession. As I indicated the themes, it is expected of social workers to look at the issues of worth and dignity of human beings, to look at the issues of environment and community sustainability, and to look at the recognition of the importance of human relationships. That is the agenda that is set by the International Association of Federation of Social Workers. But then it works with social work professional associations internationally. So the challenge that we have as in South Africa is that our social work movement...
Because of time, Mr. Ramotla, we need to take a break.
Okay, sure.
Please stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. If you've just joined us today, we are talking about social work as a profession. We have a social worker. We just had Mr. Ramotla, who was talking to us about what he does and the social work as a profession. And now we are joined by Ms. Yegela Masiba, and who's the social worker.
Correct.
And Pomadi, who is the beneficiary of the social work that Ms. Yegela does.
Correct.
Sisi, welcome. Welcome, Po.
Thank you.
Tell us about the work that you do, very briefly.
By practice, I'm a probation officer, social worker, working with adults and children in conflict with the law, responsible for social crime prevention awareness campaigns and substance abuse awareness campaigns within the Johannesburg South.
Tell us, Nche, briefly though, but ordinarily, what does your job entail? You know, sometimes we take it for granted that when somebody says they're a social worker, we know what it is that they are doing or what they're supposed to do.
Correct. It's so sad that with all of us, we think we can be social workers. Not everybody is a social worker. It takes a specific skill, technicalities, training, exposure, and understanding different people from different walks of life, And it's not a one-size-fits-all. You cannot use a blanket approach and think Sibongile comes with this problem, therefore the solution comes like this.
So the difference between talent and calling.
Yes, for example, within probation services, today you'll deal with a rape case, tomorrow is a murder case,
sure.
That day is a child in need of care and protection. So you need to know your story. If you don't know, you empower yourself. There are policies in place, there are statutes in place, because you don't want to derail. You want to be informed when you put your intervention. And obviously, the client must be engaged and understand the road that he or she is supposed to take moving forward.
Mpho sizokunaka nesesi ungacabanga ukuthi mhlambe esiyazini nasunaka. We're coming to you. Mpho, have you worked with Mpho?
I didn't work with Mpho. She's a beneficiary from another region.
Yes.
But all the regions are doing the same services. And she will explain herself and the benefits of what she has enjoyed from the department.
Sure, perhaps we should actually engage her now. Mpho.
By all means.
All that she's told us, whether she's from another region or not, she is, whatever it is that she does, you would have benefited from. Are we correct?
Yes, correct. I mean, I think there are so many beneficiaries out there already, but you know, we don't know all of them.
Sure.
I've benefited quite a lot from social development, especially from the orphanages. You know, the orphanages, the social workers take you to an orphanage, and then kids tend to think, oh yeah, you're in jail now, but you're not, you know. Opportunities that you get there are so much that if you don't grab one of them, then I guess what do you do with them, you know? So I have benefited quite a lot, and I think where I'm sitting now, I can say I've done my part and they've done their part too. So I'm sure they're happy.
She's speaking for herself, of course.
Correct.
And we say that with all the grace, not maliciously at all. And while she's said that she's benefited a lot, and that's great, we appreciate that. How do people get exposed to what she then benefits?
The department is looking, like I said earlier, different approaches depending on the matter at hand. And if it's a child in need of care and protection, there are processes that must be followed. And luckily, in almost all the communities, we do have satellite offices that do service different clients. For example, you go to intake, they will receive you. If then it's not their case, they will refer you to the correct...
What's intake?
Okay. When a client comes in, he or she will come and say,
to this satellite office?
Yes, to this satellite office. But because we work with other departments, we always preach integrated service delivery. What I cannot deal with, what is not my mandate, I will have to refer the client to the correct department, obviously formally. You write and say, this client, I've done my assessment, these are the needs of the clients, can you please assist? In as far as my piece of cake is concerned, I will deal with my part. This is how far I've gone with the client.
So you don't just say, Orlando man.
It doesn't work like that. I'm a proud social worker, and I become protective of my profession.
Yeah.
And I cannot
We're happy to hear that.
be seen. I cannot be seen or expose a client to a situation where I'm frustrated now. I must take all my frustrations, because remember, this client is vulnerable. This client needs assistance. The clients are not interested in our challenges within the department. All they want is the solution. So I normally say, leave the baggages out of the door. Come in, be ready, customer care, the client will come out happy, especially if you communicate, you're transparent about what is going to happen. We cannot say to the client, no, find yourself. It shouldn't be like that. If you are not happy, that's why there is a protocol, that's why there's a senior manager who should be assisting you, who should be advising you, should be knowing better than you, so that you can assist the client. It's not about me and you, but it's all about the client, irrespective of the challenges that we may have, but it's all about the client.
You tell us about the satellite offices, ne?
Correct.
What are the channels that you use to make sure that the citizens who need the services actually even know where the satellite offices are?
Okay, luckily there are regional offices, satellite offices. It's normally when we do our awareness campaigns, we issue the information. If you are at Diepkloof, these are the offices. If you are in Lenasia, these are the offices. If you are in Tembisa, these are the offices. Obviously, it might not be within Johannesburg metro region, but it is my responsibility as a social worker to say, well, if you're staying in KZN, I'm the one who should be contacting that office and say, I am referring this client with this list of challenges. Will you be able to please assist the client so that we move forward? Put yourself sometimes in the shoes of a client. When you are frustrated, you can't think straight. You want the solutions now. But when you get someone who's able to explain, it's not going to go this way. This is how it's supposed to be done, from point A to point Z. It puts the client at ease. And that is what is called human relations. We're talking human relations this year.
I hope we have more people who understand human relations, but we need to take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. We are still sitting with Umisiegela no Sisimpo from the Department of Social Development as a social worker and a beneficiary. Sisi, you told us earlier that you benefited a lot. What exactly is it that you benefited from?
Looking at
what are the benefits that you actually...
well, looking at a normal child that would grow at a normal family house, I don't think you would get a lot of opportunities that I got. E.g., I finished school, so I went to the best school, I think. I was telling somebody earlier on that I went to Benoni High School, and that's the best school, you know? And then you do extramural activities. So you do sports, you do drums, you do cultural activities, and then if there's something extra you need with education, you know, they look up to that and say, okay, we'll take you to extra classes because you're battling in maths.
So with you, it was education? Education,
sports. It's sports because I'm a national coach now. So
wow.
I should say it's
Congratulations.
Sports. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's sports. But I mean, I've got such a lot, as in like, as if I was from a rich family, you know. But yeah, that's part of the things that I benefited from. And I'm still giving back to the community, because I started my own thing at a location, and I'm giving back and taking...
What is this thing? Does it have a name? It's okay to tell us what it is that you coach.
I coach wrestling.
Okay.
So I've started a club last year in June, and I've got about 55 kids, primary school kids that we coach. I coach coaches to coach. I coach team managers, you know, like I engage everybody around the community. In
different sectors or just in wrestling, within the sport?
No, just within the wrestling sports, because that's where I grew. Wrestling? I'm a pro-tier wrestler. I'm a Commonwealth medalist, so everything lies in there. You see. Yeah, so that's why I'm wrestling. No,
so William Flash. Okay, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, when we listen to such stories, it's like yes, because it's not easy working with human beings. This is social sciences. This is humanities, because I mean umuntu ngeke confirm, but you can only try to do your best, but within your boundaries, that you don't overstep your boundaries. And this, I mean, what else do we want? Yes, we might not please everybody, or we might not be understood by everybody, but the intention of the department is to make the lives of people to be better, especially the poor of the poorest.
What is the easiest way that you can educate us, especially when it comes to, say, I meet with you and you had a problem this morning, and you decided to make your problems mine, and I'm here to receive a service from you. So what channels do I follow then to make that complaint? And make sure, even when I make that complaint, I'm heard, without even sounding like an enemy to begin with.
Okay. Luckily, there's nothing wrong with asking who you report to. I shouldn't be hiding who my senior is. There's nothing wrong with that. And I normally say there is nothing wrong with conflicts. There's nothing wrong with disagreements because they bring about engagement. Sometimes you will make a mistake. You are not aware. You are a human being after all. But if you are matured enough, politically, psychologically, and emotionally, you are able to sit back and think, what have I done wrong for the day?
Sure.
That whatever that I did to that client was uncalled for. You grow, because if you don't make mistakes, you don't grow. Unfortunately, within government sector, there's no room for errors because you never know what's gonna come.
Sure.
Thereafter. But there's nothing wrong asking who's your senior, and I should be in a position to take you to my senior's office. If not, I should be able to give you the contact number because there's nothing wrong with holding me accountable. You know what, when it comes to this, I am not happy.
Yeah,
if we can do it with our managers, why can't a client do it to us? There's nothing wrong with it.
Sure.
You grow.
Mbo, how did you access the benefits that you received? Because somebody's watching right now and saying, okay, Umpo, I can hear that she's saying she did this and this and this, but where do I even begin? How did you do it?
I wouldn't say luckily for me, but I wouldn't tell you exactly how I did it because I didn't do it. I grew up in a children's home and I've been there since 18 years of my life, you know. So where did I end up? I was still a baby, so I don't know exactly how. But I'm sure there are offices, social work offices where you can go and say...
But I understand that when you say you grew up in a children's home. For people who think that they should be staying in the streets and suffering, there's nothing wrong at all with children's homes. Look at her.
No, it's the best thing. I mean, I won't lie. It's for me, it was like the best thing that could ever happen to me because I had 200 brothers and sisters and we looked after each other, to tell you the truth. So I enjoyed it. And
that's your work, Hegel. You should be proud.
Like I said, I couldn't be more prouder than this. And Mina, it makes me happier when I know that I've made a change in the life of one person. Yes, I'm not God, I'm not gonna change the world, but when I know I've done my best to service Umpo and I didn't leave any of the stones along the way unturned, I become the happiest person.
Are there any programs that you run that actually showcase the likes of Umpo as the beneficiaries of the work that you do, so that we don't just see Umpo alone and we can be proud and say, hey, our country is actually doing something?
The department is having programs like your Life Skills program that are done within the regions and by funded NGOs and in the child and youth care centers. These are the programs that any other person should take advantage of.
Any other person?
Any other person.
Okay.
On prevention level, it could be a child that is charged with a criminal offense. Now this child can be diverted to go and attend these programs so that this child can learn and be exposed to different things. Because reality be told, a child will not listen to what you are saying, but you do as you do.
We've run out of time, my darling. We've run out of time. This program is very short, I tell you. Thank you so much for having joined us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence. That's all the time we had for today, and thank you for having joined us. Join the conversation on Facebook page, Sibongile Mlangeni Initiating Insight, on Instagram, Sibongile_Mlangeni, Twitter, Sibongile ME, YouTube channel, Sibongile Evelyn Mlangeni. Thank you for having watched. Take care.